Welcome back, everyone. Today's show is all about something that shapes our planet, even though you can't see it, your carbon footprint. Marilla, have you ever wondered what that actually means?
Honestly, I have. The term sounds a bit technical, and I always picture a big shoe print in smoke. But I get that it's about pollution. Can you break it down in simple words?
You nailed the idea, actually. A carbon footprint is just the total greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide that are released from everything you do. Things like driving, eating, charging your phone, even shopping. It all adds up.
So every time I drive to the store or eat a burger, I'm leaving this invisible trail behind? That's kind of wild. Is it really a big deal for each person, though?
It is. Each person's choices matter, especially since the average footprint is a few tons of emissions every year. In some countries, it's double or more. That's why it's so urgent to talk about, especially with climate change in the picture.
That reminds me, everywhere I look these days, people are worried about climate change. But why is 2025 getting so much attention?
Great question. Scientists say global emissions could peak this year, but only if we act fast. If we don't, things like extreme weather and rising sea levels get worse. Agriculture is a big piece, but even using smarter farming tech could help cut a huge chunk of emissions.
It's amazing how farms and food play such a role. But it sounds like regular people can help too, not just big companies or farms.
Absolutely. Our daily choices, like how we travel, use energy, or what we eat, have a real impact. Even small changes, when millions of people make them, add up and can push those emission numbers down.
Travel is a big one for me. I didn't realize that driving my little car could be such a factor in my carbon footprint. Does using public transport really help that much?
It actually does. Transportation, especially cars, makes up about a third of emissions in places like the US. So walking, biking, or using buses, instead of driving alone, really shrinks your footprint. Even carpooling or going electric helps a lot.
Switching up travel sounds doable. But what about when I'm just relaxing at home? Does my energy bill represent my carbon footprint too?
Totally. Heating, cooling, and electricity use at home are big sources, often about 20 to 30% of your footprint. Swapping to renewable energy, like solar, and using efficient appliances can make a bigger difference than people expect.
Guess I have no more excuses for leaving my charger plugged in. But on a serious note, even little steps like that seem to matter, right?
Totally. Even tiny habits add up, and food choices are just as powerful. Did you know producing beef can create way more emissions than growing vegetables? Even cutting back on red meat or eating more local foods helps.
I never thought my lunch could affect my carbon footprint. Shopping too, so if I buy fewer new things or recycle more, that helps the planet?
Exactly. Buying less, choosing products that last, and recycling whenever you can reduces waste and the energy needed to make new stuff. Even businesses are tracking their impact now, using better data and carbon calculators.
It's a little overwhelming, but it's good to know I can chip in by changing how I eat and shop. Are there ways to help as a community, not just alone?
Definitely. Policies like supporting renewable energy or joining local solar projects can multiply your impact. In some places, neighbors team up to use clean energy and save money together.
That's actually inspiring. I love the idea that simple actions can ripple out. Even sharing tips or progress with friends could motivate others.
You're spot on. It's about starting small, tracking your habits, and spreading the word. Every ton of emissions reduced is a win, especially when we team up.
I'll have to share this episode with my friends then. Speaking of learning, could we practice some of those key words you mentioned earlier?
Let's do it! First up, carbon footprint. That's just the total emissions from your daily actions. Try saying it out loud, carbon footprint.
Carbon footprint. Like, walking to work helps lower your carbon footprint. Okay, next word?
Emissions. These are the gases we release into the air. Repeat after me, emissions.
Emissions. For example, car emissions cause air pollution. Now, what about renewable energy?
Renewable energy is energy from the sun or wind. It never runs out. Let's say it together. Renewable energy.
Renewable energy. Using solar panels at home is a great way to help. Should we try a longer sentence to practice?
Here's a good one. To reduce your carbon footprint, use renewable energy, choose low-carbon transport, and practice recycling for sustainability. Let's say it slowly together.
To reduce your carbon footprint, use renewable energy, choose low-carbon transport, and practice recycling for sustainability. That really sums it up and feels doable.
That's the goal, small steps. Repeat it often, lead to big change. And hey, we'd love to hear what changes our listeners plan to make. Let's keep the conversation going.
Share your ideas or any challenges in the comments, and hit subscribe for more easy English chats about the environment. Thanks for joining us today.
See you next time. And remember, every action counts. Bye for now.